All right, everybody. Today, as promised, we're going to finish up the Alpha Star games. Um, so,
All right, everybody.
sorry, maybe get a little bit of feedback there on my mic. Okay, so we're gonna finish the replays on the Alpha Star game. If this is the first video you're watching, Alpha Star is a AI. It's a learning AI with a neural network that took on StarCraft, and you can watch the rest of the series in my DeepMind playlist. Um, so here we have Team Liquid's TLO, whose main race is Zerg. He's playing here as Protoss, um, and against the AI. So this is a AI client. We're going to be watching this time. We're going to cast the games from the point of view of the AI. Now, the AI doesn't look at the game like this. It doesn't look at the game like humans do. The AI, if you can see my mouse moving around in the middle of the map, down here in the bottom left, this is what we call the mini map. And the way that the AI sees the game is it only sees this mini map. Um, More detailed though. It sees essentially the entire map completely zoomed out. Um, but it doesn't. That doesn't mean that the computer can collect all of the information and act upon it simultaneously. It has to focus its attention on a specific place, gather information, put it through its neural network, and then produce a response. So this camera view is the quote-unquote Alpha Star's vision, as we as humans are used to seeing StarCraft being played in this perspective, based upon where the computer is focusing on. Um, so yeah, so here we go. This is uh, Alpha Star versus TLO Game 3. Game 1 and 2 was already casted by me. Um, and we're gonna take a pause for just 1 second, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go, and we're starting. So again, this is Alpha Star's vision, or I guess essentially the computer's point of interest. So this version of the AI decided not to wall off the front of the ramp. Um, which is odd. Most StarCraft players do. Looks like it's going out for a scout. And it's using Chrono Boost on the Nexus to get the extra probe out. Is that the first time it used... It's, yeah, that's the first time it used its Chrono Boost. It'd be interesting to see if the AI uses the Chrono Boost immediately when it's available again. And there's our answer. Yes, it does. So this AI is taking both gases. One thing that we saw in game one was how little gas the AI mined. It knew how much gas it needed for what it wanted to do, and it really was kind of sparing on how many, excuse me, how many units it was mining gas with. Looks like it's doing a little bit of harassed, attacking that pylon on the other side of the map. We kind of want to break down the decisions the AI is making based off of the information that it has. So that's kind of the point of casting it from the view of the AI. Getting its second pylon. To get supply block there for just a second, kind of interesting. Now, does it start warp gate right away, or does it go for a stargate? Let's see. And so it immediately started the warp grade upgrade. Another pylon. It doesn't look like it has any intention of expanding yet. Oh, it's 4 out of 3 on gas, so it corrected the problem. So you can see that its play isn't perfect, even though it's a computer, and you may assume that, well, the computer is going to run its programming perfectly. The computer has not been programmed, so there's no such thing as it doing it perfectly, running its program perfectly, because it's not been programmed. It learned how to play StarCraft all on its own based off of other games. Now I'm going to jump off its camera and see it's throwing shade out to the left, but its units are down here and it just transferred. And so the AI dodged. Let's go back just a little bit. Right there. So the AI must have, it obviously didn't know. Let's pause. So the AI doesn't know what's going on except for what it could see, which we could see before. This right here, these block vision. So units on this side, their vision, I'll show you his vision, Alpha Star's vision. He can't see, I keep calling the computer a he, the computer can't see on this side of that. And TLO also can't see. So if we play this for a little bit, you can see that. So the vision stops and it's not able to see those adepts. What the AI did was about right back here, knowing that TLO, the human, would be coming across the map, it threw a shade out this way, and it transferred over to here just at the same time that the stalkers would have scouted them. So very, very clever play performed there by the AI. So TLO's got a probe on the other side of the map and 2 stalkers going across, and the AI is coming across with 2 adepts. TLO just throws down an expansion. And Alpha Star does have a couple stalkers up home. Here he comes in. So pops up, grabs that probe. Now these can't get in because this is being built, and he loses the AI loses an adept. Oh, but he chooses to go ahead and finish that shade at the top of the ramp. That is probably a dead adept, but we'll see if he can get away. He's throwing his shade. Oh, and he shade through. The human player doesn't get anything done with it, but the human player threw down a pylon right here, and then knew that he was probably going to cancel it. So the AI threw another ship there and was able to get up. It didn't get anything done, but now Alpha Star is coming across the map with a couple of stalkers, and TLO sees that with his probe. A couple of shield batteries coming down for TLO. And the AI is still on one base with 27 workers mining out of the mineral patches. That's generally considered poor play by human players, but of course the computer doesn't care what you think is poor play or not. It just plays the game. So went for a robo facility and a robo bay. Not sure what it's going for with that. Got quite a few stalkers out, and looks like it's wanting to expand now. Okay. So its expansion is quite a bit later. Let's look at the units though. So Alpha Star has 36 probes and TLO, the human, only has 29. So quite a big advantage for the AI right now. But he's only on the one base. So the incomes are virtually identical, even though the AI has more workers because he's not mining more minerals from here because he's maxed out. So now that the Robo Bay is done, we'll see that the AI is going for a disruptor followed up by a observer. So disruptor play in PvP can be very good because stalkers die to disruptors very quickly. We don't have any upgrades coming up yet for either player. I did not mean to go back. I wanted to look at the structures. And so neither player has a forge, which they get upgrades from at all. So the second base just finishing up for the AI, and he's moving out with 10 stalkers. So right now it's 10 stalkers to 7 and 1 immortal, plus 2 shield batteries up front here, and some sentries. So the human player has the advantage here. All these stalkers should die pretty easily to this. So looks like the AI pokes in and kind of sees that he's not going to get anything done and backs away. That's an observer from TLO, so you can see that the armies continue to roll across. Now, the disruptor here can either be really good or really bad. Looks like TLO is already pre-split. And, oh, get some stalkers there. Now, this choke is really dangerous. And most human players, they talked about this during the event also. They would either take down these breakable rocks, or they would just go around. They wouldn't continue to try to push up. Oh, big disruptor hit there. Wouldn't continue to try to push up this choke because the sentries can force field and lock out units. But right now the AI is up in supply pretty significantly. Oh, that disruptor goes down. And see that force field traps those stalkers on the wrong side. It's interesting that he hasn't not gotten blink yet. But let's look at the supply. So the AI has 39 army supply to 26 for the human player, 53 probes to 39. So the AI is at this point significantly ahead, especially with the fights that he's just been taking against the human player. Now, even though that is true, the human player is taking a third base, and the AI is not even close. 27 out of 26 and 15 out of 10 in the main. But this kind of standoff keeps happening in the middle of the map, which is really dangerous with that. Oh, got both sentries there. Now that's huge because now TLO cannot force field that ramp anymore, and the AI takes almost double lead in supply. So very good, very smart play by the AI here. Here comes another. So the Purifying Nova, that's the thing that the disruptor shoots out. It can damage buildings also, and I don't know what made it decide to try to hit these buildings instead of the units, but the AI felt like the disruptor ball was going to cause more damage to these buildings. Now he's kind of zoned out TLO from his third base here. So his third base he's invested in, but he's not able to do anything with it because he can't get over to it because he's got an army in his way. The Alpha Star is retreating back to this choke point. Now I'm going to pause right here. So if we look at just Alpha Star's vision, as soon as he comes down this ramp, he can't see what's on top of it anymore. So that makes it difficult also because the defender, which in this case is TLO, he's got units here, and if he's got range units at the top of this ramp, he will start shooting before Alpha Star does. And so Alpha Star can't see these units until they push up to the top of the ramp. I'll see if I can show you an example of this. So he has no idea what TLO is doing. It looks like, oh, is he going to go back home? No. So as soon as that unit gets to the top of the ramp, it disappeared. And oh, so that was pretty clever by Alpha Star. He sent a disruptor up to the top of the ramp and just peeked on the top of it to see where the units were. Now we'll see if he shoots a Purifying Nova out. Nope, he doesn't. So I thought maybe he was going to poke up, shoot a Purifying Nova, and then try to keep his units safe. But still, right now, it's 116 supply to 90. So Alpha Star is in a commanding lead. Oh, big force field. Oh, big force field by TLO here, trapping out a lot of the army. And the AI chooses to sacrifice a bunch of his units there to get some counter damage done. That's 3 immortals to 4 stalkers and a hand. Oh, that was a huge hit. TLO lost 2 archons. Looks like TLO doesn't want to fight at his base anymore, and he's going to go up around the right side. And the AI is also in a retreat. Come back home. A lot of observers following around Alpha Star. Alpha Star has expanded to a third base, and here we go. TLO is going to push in here. The supplies are nearly even now, 113 to 191. That's a lot closer. But disruptors can really change the supplies around. Now, disruptors damage your own units as much as he will damage the enemy's units. When those purifying novas blow up, they just blow up. Some zealots coming around here to the left, and Alpha Star is gathering his forces. This is an insane amount of disruptors, 8 disruptors. Now TLO is not going for any Phoenix, which is kind of interesting because Phoenix can lift up disruptors, and if a Phoenix lifts up a disruptor, it cancels its shot. So TLO opting not to kind of hard counter what the AI is doing, but we got a Warp Prism and some Zealots coming across the map from TLO, try to put some counter pressure on. However, he's got to worry about what's going on here at home. With disruptors, it's kind of scary because if you look away at the wrong moment, you can lose a lot of your army. And TLO kind of panicking here, bringing back these zealots, and then decides to send it back across the map again. So a little indecision going on from the human player, but it's pretty common. Now this is a fairly scary army, but honestly, the AI can definitely handle this, especially because he can zone out units with all of these disruptors. Oh, and he recalled. I missed that. Let's go back just a little bit because that was pretty great. So the AI is currently pressing, and gets the force fields, and or gets force fielded out, and then TLO starts going across the map. When does the AI see this? Let's pause this real quick. When does the AI know that he's out of position? So, okay, so here's Alpha Star Vision. Okay, right there. So as soon as he saw these zealots and nothing else coming at him from here, he immediately punches the recall and brings his entire army back here. So really quick decisions by the AI. And I guess he really didn't have anything to lose. Essentially, if the AI recalled and TLO wasn't pushing across the map, then nothing happens. TLO or the AI just repositions his army. But if he doesn't recall, there is a Warp Prism in the AI's main, but he sees it and is going to deal with it. At the same time, TLO's threatening the right side. He's got some zealots here to stop any probes from coming in. He's going to kill it, and he kills the Warp Prism. So that's a huge pickup for the AI. Anyway, what I was saying was, if the AI would not have recalled, and TLO was pushing across the map, then it could be really outpositioned and could have been in a bad situation for the AI. So the AI decides that it's better to recall and potentially, stop putting pressure on and let TLO expand. Now, so much going on in this game. The Zealots ran in, started chasing this probe. The AI is finally getting a forge. Is that the first forge for the AI? What are the upgrades? Oh yeah, so no upgrades for either player at the 12-minute mark. That's really unheard of. Especially because I feel like they definitely could have. Now these zealots are going to get caught by the army over here. There's another small group of zealots over here on the left, but the AI is split his forces. Now, does he have anything to stop these zealots? These zealots aren't going to do anything, but these zealots might actually get some work done on these probes, and they get in and start going to work. These zealots coming in, hitting some disruptors. Now this is a problem when you're playing a disruptor heavy play, is you don't have a lot to deal with things like this because you can't shoot a disruptor purifying nova into your own mineral line because all of your workers will die. So kind of got to be careful, and TLO's getting a lot of work done on these probes. In the meantime, the Alpha Star is kind of regrouping. Oh, it has so many disruptors. So I have never seen this many disruptors in a game before. Not sure why the AI is obsessed with this unit so much, but it can be really good. And when you have this many, look at that, they just gotta run. Now there is some units over here. Alpha Star does have a observer on the right, so he sees this army movement and he comes over and commits with some of his own army. And now Alpha Star is nearly maxed out, 191 supply to 131, huge advantage. 134 army to supply to 66. They're both essentially on the same worker, 63 to 61. Even after all that damage was done to Alpha Star's economy, TLO still is actually trailing in the worker count. And look at this movement. I'm just pause this real quick. Look down here at the mini map. The Alpha Star's got units everywhere. Kind of scouting. I don't know if he's I mean, he's got tons of vision because they've got so many units out on the map. This is his vision. So if he was trying to sneak some units out right now or anything, the Alpha Star would definitely catch it. Um, all right, so let's resume. I mean, he's got a disruptor over here just standing guard. It does look like he's starting to consolidate his army over here on the right. While there's those Phoenix that we were talking about from TLO coming out on the left that can pick up the disruptors. But that's 5 Phoenix against 18 disruptors. So um, I was always told never to do math when you're. Oh no! Mistake came out of the AI here, and he blew up a lot of his army. Here comes the Phoenix picking up those disruptors, trying to cancel the shots out. Disruptors throwing out a bunch of whiffs. Not getting a lot done. The supplies are starting to even up, but Alpha Star still has the advantage. Lost a ton of disruptors though, and that was a really bad engagement for Alpha Star. He doesn't have a bank to work with. He's down a base from TLO. TLO senses blood in the water, starts to push across. Unfortunately for him, Alpha Star is going to still continue to push the engagement. Alpha Star loses his warp prism. Here comes some disruptor shots. Oh, huge disruptor shots from the AI. He's was able to recover some of his supply a little bit. There's some units rattling down. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the quick warpins on the other side of the map because he doesn't have his warp prism over there. Let's see. Yeah, I still got quite a few Phoenix in the air for TLO. 4 Phoenix in the air for TLO. He's pushing across, but at the same time, AI has gutted the natural base, and we're starting to head into a. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say we're headed into a base trade, but the AI recalled to his third. And here comes some disruptor shots. Now there's nothing here to counter the Phoenix, but they can't shoot. They can only pick up units. And big hits from Alpha Star. And at the same time, the rest of his army is still over here on the other side of the map, just starting to pick apart TLO. TLO desperately falling back to try to defend, but I think Alpha Star just got too much. Those Phoenix pickups are good, but he picks them up and then there's nothing to shoot them. And loses an Oracle, and Alpha Star now senses blood in the water and is really pushing. It's 153 supply to 99, and the advantage is all in army supply. Alpha Star now is taking a fourth, has secured a fourth base, is nearly mined out of the main, nearly mined out of the natural. Third is still going strong, and now his fourth he's getting up now. Here's this fight. More Phoenix for picking up disruptors as they can, but TLO just does not have enough, and we see a GG from TLO. And at this point, Alpha Star is up 3-0 for the AI. So, throwing to a quick break real quick. I'm going to get the next replay loaded up, and we'll be back in about a minute or so. Alright, and welcome back to the next game. Just getting loaded in here. And again, we've got Alpha Star in the upper left, and we've got TLO in the bottom right. So now that last game saw a lot of disruptors. We'll see what this AI does. Each of these games is played by a different AI client. So every single one of these games is essentially by a different AI. So real quick before the action gets started up, the people at the DeepMind team, they created the Alpha Star League. So they had different clients of the game, different clients from the AI, play the game over and over and over again in a ladder, if you will. And the top clients are the ones that you see here. So far, both players going for a mirror build, which just means that they're doing the exact same thing. We'll see if that continues. Now, the Alpha Star is going for a second gas, and TLO has not gotten a second gas. So we do see a little bit of a deviation in the builds here now. The Alpha Star getting his second warp gate coming up a little bit later, and we'll see if TLO grabs that geyser now or not. Alpha Star going down for a little scout, making sure he's not being cannon rushed. Getting a cybernetics core. So the human player has already grabbed his second pylon, just finishing up now. And the AI is just getting a second pylon now. So a little bit of an advantage here for the AI already. You want to continuously produce probes without getting supply blocked. So we'll see. So TLO went for a safer. Look how this is going to time out. That was beautiful. So the AI was supply blocked for maybe a 16th of a second there. So that was a really good build order early game for the AI. Now TLO has invested in that second gas. They're both the AI is 2 out of 3 out of the gas, and TLO is 3 out of 3 out of both of his gas. So it's like TLO is coming over here for a little scout. He's gonna get up into the main base. Now I don't think that the Alpha Star scouted this game. No, Alpha Star is not scouted at all. So whatever Alpha Star is doing here is completely blind. Now TLO throwing a pylon here. I'm not sure exactly why he decided to do that. I guess maybe for vision for later, because he knew this probe was going to go down. The two adepts are going to finish their shade, snipe off that probe. TLO went for 2 stalkers again, and this version of the AI chose to go with 2 adepts. Now if the AI maybe wants to expand here, this will be the fastest expanse that we've seen from, So this client of the AI likes to expand faster, more like a human play. It is still later than TLO's, but not much later. Now these adepts didn't take that fancy pathing, maybe because the timing was different. Not sure why. Now the AI should not get anything done here. There's a wall at the top with a probe waiting to throw a pylon down like that to stop the shade. There's 2 stalkers. Now nobody in their right mind. Okay. Nobody in their right mind would let those adepts finish. So that was poor play from the AI. He's going to lose both of those adepts for nothing. He took, well, not for nothing, I guess. He did remove 9 health from this stalker and all of its shields, which will be repaired by that shield battery very soon. But 24 out of 16 up here and 4 out of 3 in the gas geyser. Oh, and he just fixed it, so never mind. TLO bringing a probe up to the right side of the map. Not sure if he wants to proxy something or what the plan is with that. The Alpha Star did take care of that pylon that TLO had up here. Now, I don't think that he let that finish, though. Not units lost, structures lost. Maybe I can't see structures lost. He may have canceled that. I'm not sure. So both of our players are on 2 base now. Hallucinated Phoenix coming across. Now let's see how the AI responds to this. If he sees that Phoenix and decides to make his own Phoenix or what he decides to do. Robo Bay here for the AI. Now if TLO had a real Stargate, which we all know he doesn't, but the Alpha Star doesn't know that. If TLO had a Stargate, Stargate play is favored over Robo Bay. So we'll see what the AI does and if it chooses to adjust. Now the supplies are 54 to 55 in favor of TLO right now. However, that's all in, well, they're dead even now. But the advantage is only in a couple more army units, because Alpha Star has 46 probes to 37, nearly 10 more probes than the human player does, which means that equates to more income, which equates to more units. So the Alpha Star really playing an economy game here. Now we've seen Alpha Stars, the other version of the Alpha Stars, build up a lot of probes, but this one has actually gone for 3 bases before really any pressure. There's quite a few units out here in front. Looks like the Alpha Star is kind of just scouting around. This probe went up, saw the 3rd base, and came back down. We'll see how the human decides to respond to that. Looks like Alpha Star is now starting to push out. And this Alpha Star is going for blink. We've seen most of the Alpha Stars go for a pretty heavy stalker composition, but we haven't seen them get blink yet. And so this is interesting. Now, at the same time, TLO is moving out up the right side, and Alpha Star is moving down the left. Alpha Star does not have any immortals, though, and TLO does. Now, Alpha Star will have the ability to recall home if he feels the need to, but we're going to start this pressure. So Alpha Star initiates first. TLO morphing that into an Archon. The shield battery can't heal him up until that Archon finishes, so if the Alpha Star can snipe it off before it finishes, which it does. Pressure coming onto the 3rd base of Alpha Star. We'll see if he decides to just give it this base up or if he wants to try to recall to it. It's too late for a recall now, and down goes the 3rd base for the AI. Oh, and then TLO pops the recall to get his units home. That's brilliant play. Oh, and those force fields. Before blink is done too, so that is just going to die. So with that move, I mean, Alpha Star is still in the lead. The AI is still in the supply lead. Not in army, but significantly more workers. He's got 61 workers here at the 7-minute mark. Alpha Star trying to get this warp prism down, but doesn't quite get it. Blink is now done. And Alpha Star immediately rebuilding a 3rd base, and TLO also getting that 3rd base. So that play right there was pretty brilliant by TLO. He watched across the map, sniped off the 3rd base, recalled home, pushed off the attack with not losing much, and then evened up when the 3rd base timings were. Now this is really difficult for Alpha Star because he can't see past this until he's got a unit through. So TLO, and then TLO backs out of the location. Retreats up to the high ground. He doesn't want to get blinked on. I don't think... Yeah, TLO has seen blink. Oh, DTs. The sneaky, cheeky AI decided to make some DTs this game and throw them into the natural. Pulls the army back and then pushes up with his army. So we see really good blink micro coming out of the AI here. Pushed back down the ramp. AI still has a supply advantage, but TLO has been able to slow that gap around. Now, this AI client doesn't like this tiny ramp as much as the other one did. It's going to come around the right side. Oh, I thought maybe it's going to push up. You can see the AI trying to make decisions. You see it going back and coming back and going back and coming back. It's not just committing to one thing and doing it no matter what. It's gathering information, and as that information changes, it changes what it wants to do. It's very impressive to watch a computer make decisions like this based off of real-time information. So, got a wall off here. Now, blink is ready, so he can blink over the wall. TLO does a great pincer maneuver and brings some units around to the top side to try to snipe off some of the army units. Unfortunately, not effective. And at the same time, the AI brings in some more DTs, pulls the army back, puts his army into a better position, and then pushes back out. And he does lose. Nope, he's still got this DT here, just kind of figuring out what he wants to attack. So when he blinks on top of the army, the AI must think he's going to win this fight, and yep, the AI definitely won this fight very convincingly. TLO dropping in supply, 78 to 116 supply now. That DT did go down on in the 3rd base. Now TLO's got quite a few charge lots, and charge lots are really good against stalkers, so we'll see how this holds out. Oh, and then another aggressive blink out of Alpha Star here, gets on top of the Archon, And TLO's in a lot of trouble. Oh, another offensive blink and a GG. So that goes Alpha Star 4 and Human 0. Give me just a couple more minutes. We'll get the next game pulled up. Okay, and game 5 is loading up right now. So right now it is AI 4, humans 0. And let's see what happens. So again, Alpha Star upper left, and TLO, our human player, down in the bottom right. This client also not going for a wall off at the front, while TLO does. Now we'll see if this client decides to scout or not. The last one went for just a blind no scout, which is a little bit dangerous. TLO throwing down that gateway, and the AI had kind of waited a minute, not really sure why. It's like TLO's coming out for a scout, and Alpha Star decides to stay home. Grabs that gas. TLO's got his gas going too. So far, mirror build, which is not uncommon in PvP to start off with a mirror build, because there's not a lot of options right at the beginning. Especially in PvP, you've always got to get your 2 gateways up. You always got to get. There's just things you got to do. AI grabbing the second gas before his second gateway, which is kind of interesting. TLO here in a scout. Sees that there's no expansion, no pylon on the low ground. Alpha Star starts the second gateway. TLO coming in for the scout. Now TLO knows that there's no wall off, so we'll see if he tries to abuse that or not. Cybernetic score. And it looks like this Alpha Star is going to go down for a scout. Now let's see when they build their pylons again. The last client built the pylon at the very last second to make this timing super crisp on the supply block. Now this Alpha Star client is going to be supply blocked. TLO had a much better timing, 22 out of 23 supply. He's going to go 23 out of 23 and get that pylon up. Now Alpha Star is supply blocked right now, so he can't currently build anything, which is actually pretty bad in StarCraft, especially in the early game. Alpha Star does come up, sees the scout, see that it's pretty standard play. And this Alpha Star going for 2 stalkers instead of 2 adepts. We've seen only 2 adepts out of the other clients so far. And this Alpha Star, though, going to get kind of cheeky. We've got a pylon on the other side of the map. And interestingly enough, our human player decides to put a pylon in the main base also. Now we'll see. So Alpha Star's pylon finishes up first. Now these pylons aren't going to be dangerous until after warp gates completes, but after warp gates completes, each of the units will be able to warp in their units on the other side of the map. And Alpha Star actually throwing a gateway down on this side also. Now that will make this pylon a double gate. So we got a 4 gate coming out of Alpha Star, and we've got only 2 gates here still. Oh, never mind. Shield battery, another gateway for TLO here. A little skirmish in the front. 2 stalkers versus 2 stalkers. Now, this game's going to get really interesting as soon as warp gate finishes. Once warp gate finishes. Oh, no. Alpha Star sees the proxy. It's a disaster for TLO. We're going to go back just a minute and see when and how Alpha Star scouted that. So he doesn't know it's here. We've seen this before when you see the stalker skirmish in the front. Oh no. So Alpha Star wasn't even looking for it. Alpha Star just rallied out his next 2 stalkers and happened to see these buildings building. So that's really bad for TLO. And TLO, let's see, TLO has not seen Alpha Star's proxy, so TLO, or I'm sorry, interesting, the Alpha Star was targeting the shield battery at first instead of the pylon, but then went ahead and went for the other pylon. Warp gate is almost finished for both players, and Alpha Star decides to come up front. Oh, there's 4 stalkers down here. 4 stalkers versus 2 stalkers. Never a good battle for you to take if you're the one with only 2 stalkers. Another 4 on 2. No, 4 on 3, but TLO stalkers are completely healed up. TLO bringing another probe out, probably to try to repower this gateway. That pylon's going to go down before it gets a... Oh, maybe he'll get a warp in here if TLO can push him off. But at the same time, the AI has decided to go across the map, and there is nothing here at home to defend. A slow warp in of a single stalker is not going to do much here. But at the same time, so Alpha Star did shut down that pylon, so there's going to be no reinforcements here. Oh, and a recall coming out of Alpha Star as he pushes his other stalkers across the map. What does he bring home? 4 stalkers. Pretty bold. There's 6 stalkers here from TLO and only 4 here from Alpha Star. So TLO is going to win this fight pretty convincingly. Fighting with probes here now too also. 1 on 2, so TLO is going to win that fight. Alpha Star's got 5 stalkers. Everything is depowered here for TLO, though. He's going to start picking away at these probes. And, oh, TLO GG's out. He only had 1 probe on, or 1 stalker on this side. He had nothing back at home. Some zealots coming out for Alpha Star, and that's the game. So a clean sweep, 5-0 for the AI. Now we're going to switch over to the Alpha Star versus Mana games. It'll be about the same amount of time between this game and the last one. So see you in about a minute. Alright, now we're getting back into it. Now this is Alpha Star versus Mana. Now what the team at DeepMind did was they were really excited about the results of their AI versus TLO. So they decided to play a player who plays Protoss all the time instead of playing a player who plays a different race in the game. So this is going to be a really big test for their AIs here. They went back and they had restarted the Alpha Star League. And these are the winners from the winner AIs from that league. Alpha Star doing something really strange here. He put his pylon right in front of the gas geyser. So when his units mine, they're going to have to come around and mine and around instead of going in a straight line, which is obviously more efficient. So it does create more of a choke in here. But at the same time, it's usually not a good idea to do that because you will be mining less mineral or less gas than say your opponent. Now this Alpha Star is going for a earlier scout, and Mana not going for a scout until he gets his second gateway down. Here comes the second gateway for AI. See that they've got to go around that pylon to mine the gas. Kind of interesting. Alpha Star gets up into the main of TLO. I'm sorry, of Mana, and is going to do a little bit of worker harass. I would be really impressed if the AI got a kill there on one of these probes. Mana's pushed him off. Mana comes in for his own scout, sees a mirror build. They're exactly the same except for just a few seconds off on a couple of the buildings. But so far, the builds have been exactly the same. Mana getting a little bit of his own worker harass going. Alright, and it looks like Mana's going for 2 Adepts, and the AI is going for 2 Stalkers. Oh, and throwing a pylon down on the other side of the map. Wonder what that's going to be for. Proxy something. I don't think that this is going to be. This is not going to be a 4 gate. Too late to start building a gateway over here, so we'll see what he does. And these 2 Adepts are starting to shade across the map, trying to get some harass done. Mana probably saw that the AI didn't wall off in the front, so he's going to try to get into the space and see what damage he can do. 2 Stalkers will kill 2 Adepts, but not for a while. It takes a minute. Got to start a gateway coming up on this side. So here comes Mana's Adepts coming in with that shade. Does he let him finish? He should. Yep. So let's see how many workers he get killed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 workers, maybe 5th, 5. Yeah, 5 workers killed. Not too bad. Now at the same time, this was scouted. If we look at Mana's vision, this was scouted. So this is essentially what happened to TLO when TLO played against the AI, except TLO got the bad end of the stick and his proxy was the one that was scouted. Well, now the tables have flipped. The AI's proxy is the one that was scouted. So TLO back home, getting a couple of shield batteries up, getting a Oracle, a Robo. So TLO's getting all of the tools he needs to get this stopped. And Warp Gate has just finished. The AI pushing in, trying to snipe off this pylon. You never know what the supply is like. Oh, good micro from the AI pulling back the weakened Stalkers so they don't get killed. 3 more Stalkers coming in. And the AI is taking an interesting fascination about these rocks down here at the bottom of the rat and taking quite a bit of extra damage just to make sure he gets rid of those. Now it's 10 Stalkers to 4 in favor of the AI. Oh, and a great force field here by Mana, trapping 2 of the Stalkers of the AI up here at the top. And it's pushing in. Here comes the workers. Now it's really important. Oh, and the Immortal pops out just barely. Oh, he's going to target it down. Oh, and he gets the Immortal. That's huge. Huge win. It's 1 Stalker to 8 now in favor for the AI. So even though his proxy was scouted and Mana was getting all the tools up that he needed to deal with it, this is turning into a really bad disaster here for Mana. 8 Stalkers to 1. Mana does have an Oracle coming back home. But I think this is all but over here for Mana. Losing a lot of workers. The AI going to depower this pylon so he can't build out of the Robo or the Stargate. Targets the Oracle. Does he get it? Oracle goes back and heals up. Oh, so close. That shield battery is really pulling their weight now. More Stalkers coming in. He gets the Sentry. Now he's just fighting the probes. Stalkers do have to be careful when they're fighting probes because as you can see, they can't take him down. Oracle drops, and that's a GG for Mana. So very well played by the AI. Even though his proxy was scouted, he was still able to push up the ramp and just not be scared. It just figured that it had enough and went for it. So we'll be back with game 2. All right, game 2, Alpha Star versus Mana. Mana in the bottom right, Alpha Star in the upper left. It's kind of interesting that they've always played like this in this setup with Alpha Star on the top. I don't know if that's a thing that has to be done for the AI or what, but again, not going for a wall at the front. We saw that Alpha Star took quite a bit of damage to mana last game, in the early game from a 2 adept pressure because he didn't have a wall at the front. But it does make you wonder, and I don't want to give the AI too much credit, but it does make you wonder if the AI goes for this kind of a style without walling off the front, because he knows that their opponent is more likely to go for adepts if there's no wall at the front. And maybe the AI knows that it'll probably lose some workers to an adept, but if it loses workers to some adepts, but then it kills those adepts, there's less to defend back at home. If those two things that were built by mana were stalkers instead of adepts, I wonder how the game would have been different. AI coming across for another really early scout. Mana is scouting at the same time he did last game. Oh, Alpha Star trying to attack the probe and turns around. So if Alpha Star ends up chasing this probe all the way back home instead of getting a scout, then it's kind of pointless to have gone for such an early scout. Yeah, Alpha Star really chasing that probe back. So went for an early scout, saw a probe, and chased it back home. Kind of interesting. Not sure what that probe was doing out so far either, but yep. So even though Alpha Star was going to scout, he has not scouted. So now both these builds really tight coming out of Alpha Star and Mana. Just getting supply block there, both of them for just a second to get the most efficient way to get their units out. And their pylons and everything, spending their money very efficiently. And now, interestingly enough, both players are going for a 2 adepts. So far an exact mirror build. You can see that up in the production tab. Those progress lines are essentially exactly the same. Now we see a little deviation. Nope, we don't see a deviation. Both players have gone for a Stargate. And here comes the AI's adept. Adepts grabs that probe. AI choosing to come down to the center of the map, and Mana is deciding to go up around. Oh look, Mana is going to do that same trick that the first AI did that we saw. Is going to shade up to the left. They do not see each other. Now Mana's adepts, I'm incorrect here. The AI's adepts will get to Mana's base before Mana's gets to the AI base, maybe? I thought so, but maybe I was wrong. Get there at the same time. Back here to defend is just a single stalker. The AI choosing to chase these down with some of his probes, probably needed. The AI wasn't able to get up into the main base because Mana walled him out with a shield battery. Now that does cost minerals for Mana to be doing that, but he keeps the adepts out of the base, and interestingly enough, this keeps Mana from expanding. While back home, for the AI, he started expanding. And here comes an Oracle. I want to keep watching these adepts and see if they ever get in, or if they just keep shading. But Mana right now is essentially locked in, because if he comes down to expand, he'll just lose that probe, and that's probably what's going to happen right here. And oh yeah, but now the probe's out of position because it just got killed, and Alpha Star gets up into the main base. At the same time, an Oracle is coming into Alpha Star's base, so we're going to start trading a little bit. There is a Phoenix here to pick up one of the adepts, and and there's an Oracle here. There's a Phoenix here also. So Alpha Star definitely getting more damage done than Mana did. However, both units are going to lose everything they attacked with. And Mana now going for his expansion significantly later than Alpha Star. Alpha Star's Nexus is nearly done, and Mana's is only about a fourth of the way done. So supplies are dead even, 38, 39 now, but essentially the same. Worker counts heavily favor the AI. Mana's pushing out here. Phoenix first, and this trail of units behind it. And Alpha Star doesn't have a lot back home, but 3 Phoenix is pretty nice. You can lift up some units. He could attack, 4 Phoenix now for Alpha Star. Be able to pick off that Phoenix and lift up a bunch of these units and even the battle up a little bit. But Alpha Star definitely at a disadvantage. Chooses to pick up the Stalkers and then cancel the pickup. Kind of stops them from attacking for a second, but yeah, Alpha Star now with the major advantage with his Phoenix. Interesting, very interesting micro with the Phoenix. The only time you see Phoenix pick up units and then drop them that quickly is if it's a unit like a Disruptor and they're trying to cancel the shot. But they just picked up the Stalkers and dropped them to prevent them from taking that first shot onto their own units. After that battle, the AI took a pretty good supply lead. Mata goes home. Alpha Star has got the Phoenix advantage. Kind of microing them around a little bit. Kind of funny. It makes you wonder why the AI chooses to do that. Why the AI doesn't just put units in one spot and leaves them there. Like why the AI chooses to play with, if you will, units like this. Because it's doing nothing. He's not scouting with them. It's not trying to find something. It's not trying to get in a better position. It's literally just playing with these units. You see players do that a lot. Try to keep their APM up, but computer doesn't need to do that, and yet it is kind of interesting. In the meantime, this very small push coming out for Alpha Star down the center of the map. The classic Stalker 3 Zealot pressure. Oh, and here comes the rest of the army. Pushing down across. Alpha Star has a fairly sizable advantage. Fairly sizable army advantage. There are even on workers. Alpha Star decides to push in before the rest of his army gets here, and this may be a mistake. Picks up his Stalker, picks it off. Doesn't lose any Phoenix yet. Still not losing any Phoenix. The Mana having to fight with some of his probes there. It's not good. Trying to get some shield batteries down now. Now this looks like Mana has a big advantage, and he does on the ground, but those Phoenix are such a game changer because he can pick up units and just blast them out of the sky. Is he going to lose? Oh, Alpha Star does finally lose a single Phoenix. Picking up more units and picking them off. And whose DT is that? That is Mana. Mana's got a DT, and I don't think Alpha Star knows that. He doesn't have any detection over here. He doesn't even have a robo. He does start a robo now, and I apologize for calling the AI a he over and over again. But so very interesting. The AI does not have detection, and he found Dark Templar here, and these Dark Templar are really going to town on Alpha Star. Starting to long distance mine to get away from the units over here, I guess. Kind of an interesting decision by Mana to do that. Mana going for blink, but the supplies are just over on. Oh, interesting little thing there. Oh, and he recalls back everything. Probably got to wait for some detection. Oh, and Mana's just going to tap out. I mean, it's 90 to supply to 30. As soon as the AI comes back across with detection, gets game over. So another win for the AI. Really putting it to the humans. Be back in about another minute. Alright, we're back to it with some really interesting play from these AIs. These AIs are looking really good in their play. So again, bottom right, mana, top left, Alpha Star, the AI. And so far showing that humans just shouldn't play StarCraft. That is a computer game. Okay. Now, interesting, this client has decided to wall off the front. It's the first time that we've seen that in, let's see, this is game 3 of mana, so 5, 6, 7. This is the first game out of 8 games, this is game number 8, that we've seen the AI decide to try and wall the front. And a little bit behind, too, on the build. Mana's gateway came down just a little bit before the AI's, so still not perfect play from the AI. We'll see what he decides to go for. Double gas up here, got a double gas down there.
And if you liked this video, please subscribe.
And let's see, is he going down for a scout? Not really sure, nope. But Mana is coming across with his scout. Double gateway coming down for both players. Mana's gateway a little quicker.
How can he see his base?
Looks like Alpha Star now coming down for a scout. And Mana getting up into the main base of Alpha Star. Mining 2 out of 3 out of both these gas geysers. Interesting. It's interesting to see the AI do this, but it kind of makes sense. So when you're mining 3 out of 3 in gas, which is quote unquote the most efficient way to mine gas, you actually pause. Let's see if Mana, yeah, so Mana is 3 out of 3. So this pauses. See this come up, stop, and then goes in, stop, and then goes in, stops, and then goes in. So it's not perfect. When you're mining 2 out of 2, it goes in, oh, it's kind of hard to see, comes out and goes straight in, out and straight in. There's no pause. So mining 2 out of 3 gas doesn't get you more gas than mining 3 out of 3. However, mining 2 out of 3 gas is technically more efficient. So it's interesting to see that the AI doesn't go for 3 out of 3 gas until it's got, I mean, we're 21 out of 16 and it's still 2 out of 3 on one of the geysers. So both players, well, Mana went for a Stalker Sentry, which is very common. It'll let Mana get a scout out here in just a second. He'll probably make a hallucinated Phoenix and send it across the map. Maybe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hallucinated Phoenix. Come on. I'm invested now. Now he's got to do it. Come on. Hallucinate Phoenix. Well, he might not now because now he sees this attack pushing across the map. 36 to 37. The AI is in a supply lead. Really good Stalker micro. Keeping the damaged ones back. Gonna start picking away at this pylon. Mana's pushing back down a little bit. They're just both kind of poking at each other. No one's lost any units yet. Mana does have the defender's advantage. Oh, and the AI. Oh, the AI gets 2 stalkers for none. AI loses no stalkers. This stalker has 19 health, and Mana loses 2. So the AI takes quite an advantage. Mana force fields the ramp. The ramp to stop these stalkers from getting up, picking away at this nexus down here. And at the same time on his side of the map, getting his own second base. Mana pushing down, trying to get these stalkers off this nexus. Is he going to get it? Alpha Star really might get this nexus, but he wants to be careful. Now that there's an Immortal out, Immortal's hit really hard. Alpha Star decides to try to back away, but he's unable to with that clutch force field. And Mana keeps his nexus alive, takes the supply lead, and pushes Alpha Star back. The pressure from Alpha Star is relentless. And there's a Phoenix. And a probe coming out on the left. Now, Alpha Star's got to be really careful here because even if he pokes in, if he gets caught off, there's a lot of force field potential here. So if he gets caught off by these force fields, he could really be in trouble if he loses half of this army like he did just a minute ago. Now this probe coming around, maybe just a scout to see if there's a third base here. Not really sure what Mana is doing with this probe. We're going to put a pylon down on the other side of the map for some offensive warp-ins later. Supply is dead even. Alpha Star up a little bit in workers, which means he's down a little bit in army. And he pushes off. Two Phoenix kind of flying around, seeing what they can see or get done, I guess. Forward pylon is finished up, and Alpha Star does not know about it. Maybe he's going to know about it. Alpha Star finds that forward pylon. Very nice scouting. Alpha Star must have saw that probe come in at a weird angle and thought maybe there was something over there. At the same time, Mana's starting to push out. Alpha Star are going to attack this pylon. Little engagement here in the middle. Supply advantage for Alpha Star. Picks up the stalker, drops it. There's a warp prism for Mana. That's a big part of this push. The warp prism goes down. He's got to pretty much probably just turn around. With this many Phoenix in the air, it's a really precarious position for to be in. That warp prism already under fire. AI trying to dive in a little bit to try to get that warp prism, but does get a warp in off. Kind of a lull in the action here as we wait for that force field to finish up. And there's the hallucinated Phoenix I was waiting for the whole game. Mana moving over to the left. AI still really far over to the right. The warp prism still alive, recharging its shields. Mana, Alpha Star lurking around with his Phoenix. Mana was able to get a good scout up there in Alpha Star's main. And here we go, pushing up. Alpha Star backs off, lets him take the high ground. And kind of lets him come into his main a little bit. Good force fields here. That warp prism going to go down? Nope, not taking fire right now. Big engagement. The Immortals are up in the air, and Mana has to force a recall. What does he get out? Most of his army. Those Immortals really almost went down. But healed up quickly by that shield battery. And now the AI pushing across the map for a counterattack, knowing that it just took a good engagement. And Mana tucked way back up into his second base. Isn't going to be able to force fill the ramp. AI coming in, picking up a Stalker and a Sentry. Now Sentries are a big part of the defense here. Picking up the Immortals. Oh, and it's now a disaster for Mana. These units not attacking. These Phoenix are just going to keep picking up this Immortal. It's never going to get into the battle, providing high ground vision. And this is definitely the end of this one. There goes that last Immortal. And this Nexus still has not gone down this whole game, even though it's almost. And there we go, GG from Mana. So another brilliant, great play by the AI, and so far it seems pretty unbeatable. Alright, now we're loading into game number 4. Let's see if the humans can win anything. Alright, now we're loading in. Get at the bottom, Mana, top, Alpha Star. Curious to see where this Alpha Star decides to put his pylon. Up here at the front, but not blocking the gas. Probes will be able to make a straight line back and forth, so that's good. No probes out on the map yet. Just kind of a standard basic opening. Alpha Star grabbing a gas. Mana grabbing a gas. Mana waiting for enough minerals to throw down a second gateway. There it is. We see a second gateway, we see a second gas. There we go. Second gateway from Alpha Star. Alpha Star peeks down the ramp, looks for anything down there, but doesn't see anything. Mana coming across with a scout. No scout yet from Alpha Star. We see that 2 out of 3 in the gas geysers again for the AI. And now we'll see the divergence in the build. We see Alpha Star going for 2 Adepts and Mana going for 2 Stalkers. So Alpha Star wanting to put on a little pressure and Mana wanting to stay home and be a little defensive. We'll see what tech these guys choose here in a minute. There's the Adepts and immediately starting to shade across. As the Stalkers from Mana push down into their natural, and looks like Mana is coming out for a scout, just looking around, seeing if he sees anything, any proxies. Probe gets back up into the main for a second scout. Pretty lucky there. Here comes the Shades. Pushed off there by the Stalkers. It's good play by Mana. Oh, but Alpha Star outmaneuvering the Stalkers here. Is going to, well, oh, and immediately recalls. Does he get them both out? Yes, that was a great move there by Alpha Star. Outmaneuvers the Stalkers, tries to shade up, and knows that they're going to get killed, so immediately recalls them, keeps everything alive. Alpha Star's expansion significantly quicker than Mana's again this time. So much more macro-oriented AIs we see in this round of games than we did in the first round of games. The first round of games, the AIs didn't expand until maybe 4.5 minutes or close to the 5.5 minute mark, and these ones expanding much quicker. Oracle coming across for Mana. See how much he gets done. What does Alpha Star have in the main? Not much. He does have 2 Stalkers on patrol up here, which is an odd place to have Stalkers on patrol. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 probes down plus mining. Oh, 5 probes down plus lost mining time. That second base is up though, and of course Mana's second base still building. Shading back out with those 2 Adepts that he saved from earlier. The advantage of keeping them alive. That Oracle could turn around and kill those if it wanted to, but doesn't look like it wants to use its energy on it. Lots of Stalkers here on the ramp, and that is one very dead Adept. Second Adept turns around. Trying to do that outmaneuver again, and it does it. And it gets up here. This Adept is now going to die. But it's pretty fancy maneuvering. Supplies dead even. There are now 2 Oracles from Mana, which surprisingly are twice as powerful as 1. It's like Alpha Star was looking for it to come back in up here in the main, but it's going to swoop around here in the natural. There are Stalkers in place down here to deflect this off. If Mana's not paying attention, he could lose these pretty quick. He gets a tag off and gets out of there. There's that early game probe just chilling. More stalkers up here to push this off. And so far, Alpha Star playing a very flawless game, not letting any of these oracles really get too much damage done. They did kill a few probes, but it's pretty inconsequential. Does get the revelation off on these stalkers. Loops back around. See what else he can get done as the build-up continues. Another tag. Alpha Star just barely getting his 4th gas up. Same with Mana. Very even timings. Actually, Mana's 4th gas guys are significantly later. Trying to circle back around up into the main, and this time Alpha Star, oh, he is hitting a lot of stalkers in his mineral line. So let's see, as these oracles come flying in, they're going to be surprised. Get the tag off. Is it going to go down? 30 health. Oh, barely gets away. Good micro control here by Mana. This game seems a lot slower. I shouldn't say seems. This game is a lot slower than the other games we've seen him play. Both Alpha Star and Mana are both playing much more conservatively. Now, Alpha Star puts the stalkers with Revelation on them down the front. And the other one's off to the side. Oh, they get caught by a stasis trap. That always sucks. But both players really taking their time, building up their army. We're getting Blink done. Disruptors coming out here for Mana, which is a big advantage to them. We saw one of the AIs pick apart another one of our players, TLO, because of Disruptors. However, the AI has access to Blink now. So we'll see how effective this Disruptor is as Alpha Star decides to push down across the map. Split up his army, got a little to the left, a little to the middle. These stalkers now unstasis. Decides to turn around. Nope, decides to... Wait, what are we doing? Everybody's confused. Alright, well we got a ton of stalkers here now. Pushing in. Starting to blink back with some of those stalkers. Disruptor shot, and blinks away. No hit. Now that Disruptor can't shoot again for a little while. A lot of Immortals here. This should be a fairly easy hold for Mana. AI does have the supply advantage. This stasis ward could go off if he decides to blink in here, which... Oh, he gets the stasis ward. Only traps 3 stalkers, which could have been a lot worse. Focuses the sentry down. Still should be an easy defense here for Mana. Stalker's almost out of stasis. And there they go. Mana throwing down a second stasis ward, but it gets cancelled with a shot from Alpha Star. Just keeping the pressure on, but behind this, Alpha Star is taking a 3rd base. Getting that up and going, it's almost finished. So even though it's putting pressure on, it's macroing behind it, which is always a good thing. And Mana here's been stuck on just 2 bases. The main base should be mining out now, and the natural is going to have plenty, but we get a bunch of DTs again from Mana. We saw a little bit of a problem with the AI taking on DTs before because it didn't have detection. And again, the AI does not have a robo facility, so it doesn't have any form of mobile detection. So these DTs that are coming up this side may get a lot done. I'm not sure why the AI decided to blink right there, if it saw those DTs or not. So what's here? Is there a cannon up here? There's not a... Oh, there's a cannon in the back of the base. Focusing down the robo. But Alpha Star did get a... another big stasis from... oh, and the forward blink. That's very bold by Alpha Star. But it is picking off quite a few of these Immortals, but there's just too much firepower here. Alpha Star's got to back off. Now, Mana did pick off the Robo Bay, which was good for him, but Alpha Star already has some detection out, so DT shouldn't get too much done anymore, although they are chasing these stalkers. Just keeps rounding across. Mana has the supply advantage now. Mana's starting to push out. Now, if Mana just pushes into the Alpha Star's bases, I'm pretty sure Alpha Star would crumble, because the advantage Alpha Star has right now is he's more mobile with these blink stalkers, and so if he gets pinned up against the corner where he's not mobile anymore, and this disruptor gets a miracle shot off, it game over. So Alpha Star trying to. Now this is really, really awesome. Alpha Star is pushing from the north and from the south at the same time. He also has units on the east. But he pushes back. Gonna lose that observer. Oh, is it? Yep, there goes the observer. But very even still. But Mana has definitely the better composition. War Prism picks up the disruptor, so doesn't get killed, and all of a sudden, Alpha Star has the supply advantage. Alpha Star doing a really good job at. Oh, and takes the disruptor out. Alpha Star doing a really good job at keeping Mana busy, so he couldn't just push up into his bases knowing that he would lose. And now he's got enough stalkers, he thinks he can hold them off a little bit. He is whittling down. Oh no, only down to 3. Oh, the grass there providing some troubles with vision. But Mana down from like 8 or 9 immortals down to only 3. That's really going to hurt him. We got more stalkers on the left, more stalkers on the north, and more stalkers on the south here. And Mana, his army just went out in the middle and just getting picked apart. Mana collapsing back and Alpha Star collapsing in on him. This is not looking good for the humans. As we go for an engagement, still's got some more blink micro. Now that DT is very dangerous because there is no detection over here for Alpha Star. He did rebuild his Robo. Oh, and the aggressive blink forward on top of all of those units. Immortals falling, supply dropping, but still the DT is slicing all of these units away. The DT is a big part of the defense here for Alpha Star, but correction, for Mana. Okay, now this time they're shaking it up. We've got Mana in the top left, and we've got Alpha Star in the bottom right. This is the first time we've seen this configuration. Also, Alpha Star putting down a very forward pylon. This is almost like a versus Zerg pylon down here. And Mana going for the standard pylon at the top of the ramp. And this Alpha Star going for a very early scout also. Really shaking it up, this map. Can Mana bring it back for the humans and at least take down the AI once? Or will we all lose 10-0 to the AI Overmind? Oh, he tried to go for the gas steal. What a cheeky AI. Does throw a pylon down. Gets his probe out. Now, I don't know if he's planning on using that pylon for anything or if he just wants to use it for some vision. Alpha Star going for only one gate right now, getting both of his gases up. Mana's got both of his gateways down. And still only one gate for Alpha Star. This is really dangerous because Protoss units are so strong that if you have fewer units than your opponent, you just lose. But sticking with the one gate, this is I have never seen a professional game where any PvP has only gone one gate. So this will be really interesting to see what Alpha Star's got up his sleeve. And you know what? It is going to be a proxy. We see a pylon coming down over here. And TLO, MANA coming into the main base for a scout. Now, MANA being the high caliber player that he is going to know that something's up because there should be another pylon building here somewhere. There's not. However, he is in the AI, might be lucky because there's a pylon in his base. And so, even though that's not reliable to do as far as maintaining your supply on, because that obviously pylon, you can't plan on it staying there for too long, might be the reason why Alpha Star isn't going for another one. But Alpha Star is not building any more probes, and that's huge. Mannequin is not also producing any probes, but Alpha Star going for the Robo shield battery proxy on this side of the map. He's already got a shield battery down, another one coming up, another more forward pylon. What's coming across the map? Two zealots. Oh, a zealot and a stalker coming across the map. Probe still looking around. Now, MANA for sure knows what's up. If you look at MANA's base, you can see what he's got here, and you can see that it's different than what the Alpha Star's got in his base. Now the two stalkers have the advantage here. If that shield battery comes up though, it's a game changer. Or alright, now 4 stalkers to 1. Stalker goes back and gets a recharge. Zealot goes back, gets a recharge. Cancels one of the shield batteries. And now we've got an immortal out, and that shield battery's coming up. So now this just got a lot more dangerous for MANA. And just running up into the main base, not scared at all. MANA's own immortal's almost coming out, but he's going to start picking off some of these probes here as he retreats out of the main base and pushes back up and back and back up and back. MANA's falling in supply. Oh, and that is a very forward Stargate. Another shield battery and a Stargate just outside of his opponent's main. That was an interesting force field there. But that immortal definitely going to go down. But another one pops out. MANA is able to pop the barrier off that immortal. Another shield battery coming up. Tough spot here. Now we're just kind of and MANA's pushing down a little. Pokes down. Definitely sees that that's a Stargate. It'll be interesting to see what the AI builds out of this Stargate. Warp Prism coming up for MANA. We give him a lot of micro ability. This immortal, is it going to stay up? Is it going to go down? Oh, it's so close. AI's got to keep that immortal alive. Blasting at the other immortal. MANA loses one. It's 1-on-1, but the barrier's up for MANA's immortal. Oh, these shield batteries are just pushing out the work. The first thing built over here was a Phoenix. Oh, that's a great choice. He's going to be able to take on that Warp Prism. That Warp Prism is going to go down. And that's going to be a wasted 200 minerals for MANA for a unit that can no longer do anything. AI picking off this pylon, depowering all of that. Going for the second pylon. Doesn't quite get it. Oh, there it goes. Supply blocking MANA. MANA can no longer build any units. MANA can't use this Warp Prism up front because the AI's got a Phoenix out and is supply advantage. Here comes the probes. Falling back. Going to try to repower these forward gates. He is out of a supply block, which is nice. It is now 2 immortals versus 1. But the AI has lost everything else now. It's just down to these 2 immortals. But with that Phoenix, this Warp Prism is on a timer. Not sure why the AI doesn't keep pushing it and just takes that out. But it comes back down, recharges. The problem is Mana needs that warp prism in order to hold this, but the more he uses it, the more likely he is to lose it. And if he loses that warp prism, then he definitely is just probably going to lose this game. And there it goes. Warp prism is down. And a Void Ray is out, which deals bonus damage to Stalkers when it's prismatically aligned. I don't know if we'll see it do it or not. Of course, probes are not armored, and so prismatic alignment doesn't do anything for them. And that's game. GG, Liquid Mana taps out. And the AI wins 10-0. So, very crazy games. Pretty awesome. Very awesome to see the AI come this far and do this well. I would like to see more games. The AI, I would watch a AI versus AI tournament. I think this is really cool stuff. If you're interested in anything else DeepMind does, check them out on the website, www.deepmind.com. I believe it's com. I'm fairly certain. But don't quote me on that. So all these replays are available on their website. Also, I uploaded the presentation broadcast from when they did this live on Twitch. It's on my YouTube channel. It's under the DeepMind StarCraft 2 playlist. You can check that out. I also casted games 1 and 2 of TLO versus DeepMind on a live stream on Thursday. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, share it around, and until next time.